so I've been more fragile lately. And I have to say that I believe this is a part of a grand healing process because we're always healing. And that the challenges of my life, past, present, future, resolved or unresolved, are knocking at the door, saying, don't ignore me, saying, don't turn away, saying, listen to me, there's something in here for you, there's a message in here for you. These things keep on coming back, whether it's echoes of a loved one that you've lost, whether it's echoes of childhood pain or addiction, lost dreams, disappointments, those things come up again, knocking at your door. And I decided, why are they knocking on my door again? It's because I'm ready. It's because I'm ready to see things not through the lens of a child, but I'm ready to see things through the lens of a spiritual being, the lens of what I now know. And when we signed up to become spiritual people, we signed up for change. We signed up for challenge. Yes, we signed up to hear awesome music and to have all of the up moments and all of the wonderful, wonderful moments that come with spiritual exploration. But I think when we choose to be spiritual people, we choose change, and we know that that change is going to have to be looked at head on. We're going to face our fears, right? So I began to really spend some time thinking about why are all of these thoughts about life challenges from the past and the present, resolved and unresolved, coming up to me. So my first insight was, it's because all of these challenges, resolved, unresolved, past, and present, are a gift. They are a gift. And the gift may not be so obvious. And the gift is for each of us to interpret and decide and learn. And there are perhaps many, many gifts associated with each one of these challenges. Michael Beckwith said that everything is a part of our spiritual work. And that's such a wonderful viewpoint to think of that. Everything that comes into our life is a part of our spiritual work. It's a part of our growth process. And the interesting thing is, it's not so much the event itself. Sometimes it's not so much the condition itself. Sometimes it's not so much what happened, the event that happened itself, that challenge, but it's our whole thought that we carry about it. It's the whole thought that we carry about ourselves about it that can be rethought. And so that's one of the reasons why we call our faith tradition in the family of new thought. We get to rethink these things and recreate the very reality of how these things affect us. And noticing that as we rethink things, healing is always happening. Healing is always happening. So don't turn away. That's one of the lessons I got. Don't turn away from these challenges. When something comes up that's uncomfortable to think about, like I said last week, stop and listen to your thoughts, but listen to the message of this knocking. And don't turn away for a moment, because our habit is to turn away. Charles Fillmore said this. He said, when the crucifixion comes and you are suffering, you may cry out, God, why have you forsaken me? This is when you need to realize that you are passing through a transforming process that will be followed by a resurrection of all that is worth saving. I'll say that again. This is when you realize that you are passing through a transforming process that will be followed by a resurrection of all that is worth saving. So that's a beautiful, beautiful thought to meditate on. what else did I realize? What other insights did I gain about life's challenges? And one you may have heard of before. It's a Japanese word called kinsukuri. Kinsukuri. And what that means is, in Japan, this is an example of, not an example of kinsukuri, but this is an example of a pot. And if this pot broke, if I dropped it on the ground, Western thought might say, oh, well, it's damaged, it's no good, let's go get a new one, a good one. But I've known people who have dropped Tibetan bowls and crystal bowls who have put them back together and used them. And what this kinsukuri is they seam it back together, and where it was broken, they seam it back together with gold or copper, with the awareness and the knowing that where it was damaged, it is more beautiful. Where there was suffering, it is more beautiful and sacred. So there is this theme. What if that were our hearts? All of our suffering and all of our challenges gives us, what one of my spiritual healers told me, it gives you texture, David. Not just texture. It gives you meaning, it gives you purpose, it forms a part of you that becomes beautiful for having gone through it. Consider this. There's a poem by Khalil Gibran, and I always paraphrase it this way. Pain is like the knife that carves more deeply the bowl that contains your deepest happiness. I'll say this again. Pain is like the knife that carves more deeply the bowl that contains your deepest happiness. So if you haven't had much challenge in life, this bowl is very shallow and it cannot contain this deep contentment, this deep feeling. But those who have suffered, you all know, those who have suffered and gone through and have overcome something and learned by it, your sense of contentment and gratitude and appreciation is so much stronger because of what you've gone through. And that leads me to my next insight, which is one of the things that you receive is wisdom. And so it is said that we are a gift and we get to re-gift ourselves. And one of those ways we re-gift ourselves is by when we become wise, when we gain wisdom, we get to gift that out and share that and bring comfort to others. That happened in an unexpected way at work this week. There was a girl who was a new employee, and I could tell she was distraught. I could tell she was really panicked and freaking out, that there was so much to learn and so much pressure on her to be perfect. And we had a one-on-one meeting, and in the meeting, she was kind of oscillating between yawning because she was so tired because she told me she wasn't sleeping because she was up at nights worrying. And then other moments she would look like she was going to throw up because right in the middle of the meeting, I mean, it was, the stress of everything was weighing down upon her. And I could hear her taking these breaths, these sighing breaths. And it was just so, I could see her suffering. And I remembered when I was onboarding in my younger day, and it was a very tough learning curve, and I was going through the same thing. And so I stopped and I told her, listen, you're okay. You're going to be okay. And she looked up at me and she began to get calmer. And I said, you don't have to be perfect right now. You're actually doing a good job. So don't worry, you're not going to get fired. Just look at what's in front of you, one step at a time. Just one step at a time. And she was so relieved. And I realized I was ministering to her at work. And what a wonderful gift that was. to be able to do that and gift back. So the final insight that I'd like to share about life's challenges that I learned this week is keep it in perspective. Sometimes it feels like you are going backwards. It really does. But like this curve, right? It's not one step up, two steps back. You're going up, you're going up, you're going up, you're cycling up. And sometimes when you feel like you're going through a dark patch, you realize, you know, in The Hobbit, they had to go through the dark patch of the forest to get to the bright light at the other side. They had to cross through. And so the challenges in your life, if you stay back and say, no, I'm not going to go, I'm just going to ignore that and I'm going to go watch TV. If you don't look at the challenge, remember when I said don't turn away, don't turn away? It's like you're walking through the dark forest and coming into the light that's waiting for you. So don't try to figure it out all at once. Ask God, what are my next steps? What do I need to know today, God? God will not give you more than you can handle. So it's in these gifts. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the challenges of my life, resolved and unresolved, and the gifts that they bring. So let's go within for a moment of prayer. I know that through life's challenges, I am safe. I'm guided. I'm protected. I see each challenge as a gift when I can, knowing that when things seem dark and hopeless, the sun will come up again. And if I keep on walking through the darkness, I will get to the other side. You're going forwards, not backwards. You are not lost. You are not lost. You're rising through life's challenges. And where you feel pain and suffering along the way, you know that those cracks will be filled with gold, and you will become more beautiful, more strong, more wise throughout all of this, so that you can give this gift, this very unique gift that you are, to others. Someone else is waiting for that gift of your message, of your kindness, of your advice, of your love, of your wisdom, of your prayers. Someone is waiting because of the challenges that you have gone through. Within this knowing, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for it all. And so it is. Amen.